just be doing year in, without any purpose. So we haven't actually honored the great Imam. So in order to honor the great Imam, you and I have to understand the lesson that they gave, which was, regardless of what happens, you must stand on the haqq. And it is not sufficient for us as Muslims to pay our zakah, khairat, etc., but then also be doing those things which are opposing to the great character of the great Imam, i.e., backbiting, you know, telling lies, gaining something through fraud, and unfortunately in this time which we live in, having a wee drink, with your pals down in the pub or wherever, you know. So these are things which are contrary to the teaching of the great Imam. There was no need for the great Imam to face Yazid, you know, but he faced them because he was an open transgressor. He wasn't those of individuals who was a transgressor in the chupke, in the hidden. He was an open transgressor, and he was, in a sense, influencing the Muslims to say that what he was doing was correct because he was at that point the Zabardasti Khalifa of the time. So this is one of the reasons why the great Imam stood up against him. Not that he had a personal enmity against him, no, because of his character, because of what he was doing, because of the problems that he was creating. The great Imam told you and I that regardless of what would happen, you and I have to stand for the truth. Doesn't matter if it is your own son. Doesn't matter if it's your own father. Doesn't matter if it's the people from your own brotherly, as we say, or from your own tribe. You have to stand against them. Because if you do not stand, then you allow falsehood to perpetuate. And when falsehood perpetuates, you get the problem that you see in the society right now. Because nobody is there to stop them. So this is a great responsibility that you and I have. And if we bring that to the hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says that you and I should love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He is the one who gives us provisions. All the provisions, all the blessings come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says, love Allah because the provisions are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he says, love me, i.e. the Prophet, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he goes on, he doesn't just stop there, the Prophet goes on and he goes on to say, and love my family for the sake of me. So here the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is giving you, if there was ever a need for any lesson, how important it is that the Ahl Bayt are connected with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, it is not, you can't just say, I love Allah, but I don't love, Na'uzubillah Rasulullah, or I don't love, the Ahl Bayt. Or you can say, we love Ahl Bayt, but we don't love the Prophet, or, this is nonsense. So here it's saying to you that these three, they are interconnected, and you cannot love one and not the other. So the Prophet ﷺ is making clear to you and I. And coming back to the earlier lesson that we talked about, the Prophet ﷺ, he says that teach your children three things: love the Quran, love of me, and the love of my family, love of the Ahlul Bayt. So if we don't understand and if we don't learn these things, how can we teach this to our children? How can we teach this to our community? And just a side point, when we look at the first revelations which took place in Makkah, the first revelation was Surah Iqra, obviously, we know that, which is pointing towards, you need to learn the knowledge. So you and I have an obligation to learn the knowledge, the basic knowledge. The second surah which was revealed was Surah Nun wal Qalam, which talked about reforming our character, and it gave the example of the Prophet ﷺ having the best of the character.